Alright guys, welcome back. CFP here, and this is Survival Living. So, I'm in one of the outside sheds. Well, my brother's got his brood station there for his chicks. Anyway, I want to discuss what we've been talking about on the channel here about preparations for a conflict, a global conflict. Now, I've been getting all kind of different news information on this. I'm trying to stay on track of it as much as possible, stay on top of everything. One of the things I'm seeing is some are claiming that it's very possible it's just going to be a proxy war of some type. Kind of like a conflict mainly around Crimea, Russia, right around that area, that we're really not going to be putting much in way of U.S. support in that. Quite possibly. The rumors of, another Chesney and stuff like that. It's possible. It is. Me as a prepper, I'm prepared for as much as possible. So, if it is just a proxy, everything stays over there in just a centralized area, alright, so you're going to be okay in your homes here in the States. I mean, you are. Even if it was a global conflict, you don't need to be running out to the woods. We always talk about bug outs and stuff like that, bugging out. Oh, fix my hair. We always talk about bugging out and things like that. Well, that just depends on what scenario you're in. If a global event was to start popping off, unless you've got hit in your local area by some nasty weaponry, you can ride it out at your home, sure. Think back with Depression days. Look back at the history of World War II with rationing, things like that. So if you're not prepared, you are going to be affected by this massively. Even us that are prepared, we're going to be affected by this. Plain out simple. This is one of the reasons why we stock up fuel. I mean, everything from gasoline to propane. We have kerosene for our kerosene heaters. It's not really something that we use a lot of. We keep extra wicks and stuff like that for a kerosene heater. But it's not something that it's not our number one go-to, because living situation, we got it on standby if we need it. We have our wood stove, all right? That's another thing we can pipe in and produce heat and cook off of. You can. But if things go down on a global event, America's going to hurt. Let's just say, all right, because I honestly believe that they would try to knock us out of the fight before we got into it. EMP weaponry. Let's just say that we are not hit directly right here in the stateside. Economically wise, we're going to feel it. And I don't mean you're going to be paying $1 more for macaroni. I'm talking about you are going to be paying a lot more for macaroni, and if you even have the availability to purchase macaroni. Rationing wasn't just fuel. It was meats, foods, everything. Everything was rationed, all right? Gasoline, everything was rationed. Just do a simple YouTube search. There's plenty of well-documented, well-made films on the rationing and stuff like that during the Depression days and also World War II. It's not something you want to experience. And I'm afraid we will be experiencing that. And I don't mean, when I say afraid, it's not that I am fearful. That's why I prep. I prep so when things happen, I'm sitting pretty good and I don't have to change much in my lifestyle. Now, we have to make some changes. Oh, of course. But that's why we stock up food. That's why we stock up water, things like that. I showed basic things for grid down scenario, solar generators, gasoline generators, and wind turbines. Simple, easy obtained options. Solar, things that you can slowly work to, slowly get, and it's not going to break your bank, and you're able to use it all the time. I use my stuff all the time. And I've seen the other suggestions of you need to be doing methane, you need to be doing geothermals, you need to be doing this and that. Once you actually do it yourself and you work out all the kinks, and you find out that if it's cheaper to do that when you're on a budget, feel free to notify me with your video. I'm trying to show you what is obtainable, fast, quick, easy to maintain. Most of these systems aren't. I mean, the fact is, we could argue we all need to make our own fusion reactors. Thing I do here on this channel is I keep it real as possible. I try to show you what works and what we use. We don't use geothermal heating. We don't use methane generators. We don't. All right, the fact is, we don't have it. I can come up here as a typical YouTuber and talk a bunch of BS to you about how this is the best option when I'm not doing a damn thing. But I don't do that. I'll show you what works because we actually live it. So with this, guys, keep stockpiling food, water purification, water storage, medication. All right, definitely medication. Right now I am speaking with another company. They contacted me a few months ago, Jace Medical. They deal a lot with obtaining antibiotics and stuff like that. I have not signed the deal with them yet. We're still negotiating things. I'm researching them very well. And I want to get a hold of the products and stuff like that to actually look at it. Because as a prepper, yeah, I stock up fish, mocks, you name it, of course. But this is looking more like it's more obtainable. So I want to actually get more involved with them and actually, you know, check them out good before I just run up here and say, hey guys, go buy blah, blah, blah. So I want to see it. I want to actually research it. So that's one of the things we're checking out here on the channel. So again, that's Jace Medical. I'm not putting the link down just yet because I'm still researching them. But anyway, guys, just keep on stockpiling food. As far as thinking that marauders and things like that's going to become rolling into your home, you know what? There's always a threat, no matter what scenario. There always is. Unless our country gets hit hard, where we don't have a way of calling anybody to regulate laws, there won't be an issue as far as that on the main scale. Is there always a threat of someone trying to take your stuff? Absolutely. We deal with thieves all the time. But as far as Mad Max gangs running around, stuff like that, not until we get hit hard. All right. And if we get hit hard, you're going to know it too. That's when you got to be running security all the time. I saw a comment about a water wheel in the creek produce power. Yeah. People used to do that for many, many years. I mean, a long, long time ago, people were doing that. You do need some type of either a generator head or an alternator. You need a battery bank set up, and you also need to be able to provide security for something like that. Unfortunately, that's not an option for me because I don't have anything that's moving that type of water in my local area where I can actually provide security for it 24/7. So when you're doing stuff like that, you got to make sure you have the security in place. Now, if you got a stream running through your backyard, I definitely say, yeah, hook up something. Get some power out of that sucker. Absolutely. Hydropower is awesome. But it's not attainable for me in my location. Sure, I could travel about 3 miles and set up something, but then I'm going to be trying to spread myself out as far as security 3 miles away. Not really feasible for me. All right. Now back to food. Food's very important. Water, of course, is very important. Food is definitely going to be important because the prices of food is going to go through the roof. Even with some small proxy conflict going on overseas, it's going to affect us here. That is going to affect everybody in Europe, especially with natural gas fuel. That's going to affect everybody there. It's just going to spread out. The economy across the world is in the tanker. It's not good. And this is another reason why I think there is going to be a massive conflict, because one of the easiest answers for economics has always been war. It's always been war. History proves that, and history repeats itself. Even if we have a agenda society now that likes to erase and rewrite history, history repeats itself. And where the economy is, there is no quick fix. Quickest fix, war. So I definitely believe it's going to happen. Now, as far as cooking your food and stuff like that, all right, guys, even in a wartime scenario, like right now, if something happened right now and there's no foreign troops on our soils, on our land, start a campfire. You can cook a lot. I've shown cooking rice, cooking beans, stuff like that from right there in camp, hiking in to a camp location. It's very possible. I see the comments, well, you start a campfire, it's going to draw unwanted attention, and then people's going to try to take your stuff. Well, when it comes down to that scenario, people's going to try to take your stuff anyway. When it comes down to full-blown SHTF and you're dealing with that, you need to be having security pulled no matter what. It doesn't matter if you're cooking inside your home. It doesn't matter if you're cooking outside your home. Fact is, a lot of people is going to be running campfires just to try to stay warm, just to try to boil water, things like that. So that's already going to be happening. But the main thing is pulling security details. You're going to have to. You can't live in fear. Well, I can't cook food outside because somebody might come over and take it. Well, you know what? You may as well just lay down and die. If you're willing to just give up over every little thing, I don't understand why most people even come to prepping channels. We look for answers, and we know it's not going to be easy. If you think prepping and surviving SHTF is going to be easy, you're in for a very rude awakening. This is why I talk about building communities, prepping communities, getting strength in numbers. Now, can you live as a lone wolf prepper? Depends on the scenario. Yeah. Lone wolf prepping during a depression time? Sure you can. Absolutely. The threats are not as large as a full-blown SHTF. And you know, that's going to be an internet argument no matter what. No matter what anybody says, there's going to be an argument on that. So we're not going to get in that. You do you, I'll do me. We'll stick to that. Best of luck to anybody that does whatever. You know, as long as you got a plan, that's the main thing, right? So yeah, guys, right now I just went ahead and got another 20 gallons of fuel to add to our fuel stocks. So we rotate our fuel out. As far as gasoline goes, our gasoline, we keep a generator on standby. Just the fact is, solar is great, but we don't have the largest solar battery bank. It's only going to last us like 3 days in bad weather before it's, you know, running down to a low cutoff spot. So we keep gasoline. So we can always charge up our battery banks. Fortunately for us, we can charge up our battery banks within a couple hours. All right, the generator I've got under half load runs 12 hours on a full tank. So yeah, spacing out fuel and stuff like that's very smart. But yeah, worried about things? Nah. I did see over there at Marfugo TV, he released a video earlier, and I put it in our community post about he got a text message from subscribers there in Russia notifying him that they had people. It looks like the U.S. Embassy was contacting them, told them to best to get out of Russia, pretty much. But he also covered that they were putting surface-to-air missiles in Moscow. But you know, nothing's going to happen, guys. You know, for Taiwan to be putting mines in their seas, for all this drilling going down, for moving of heavy military equipment, putting surface-to-air missiles in a capital, there's a reason why they're preparing for it, because they believe something's going to happen too. Whether it happens or not, we'll all just get to see. All right, I have no control over an outcome of a war, or have control over who's going to start a war. I don't. I just get to look at what's going on, make a decision, and prepare for my family. And I hope everybody else is too. It doesn't cost that much to put food back. It really doesn't. It doesn't cost much to put water back. Is it a job to stay on top of things, to cycle through? Absolutely. Of course. You know, we have long-term food storage for stuff that I don't have to rotate. But we also have a 2-year supply of normal canned goods and dry goods. We were building that up a week at a time. Slowly. Just kept on working at it. And that's rotational stock that we use. Canned goods, dry goods, they last way beyond the dates that they tell you. Fortunately for us, the way we got our system set up and laid out, we actually use all of our products before they even hit the best buy date. So if something happens right now, I got enough food as far as canned goods and dry goods to last 2 years, and nothing would be over the best by date, which we don't go by best by dates. We all know why. And it'll be perfectly fine. My other long-term stuff is the long-term foods, 25-year shelf life. We have seeds. We have fertilizer. We have stuff so we can grow in between, so we can catch growing seasons, try to collect that material. We have canning equipment. We got canning jars, canning lids. We have all that so we can actually save food and put back and go right back at it. Eventually our stocks are going to run out. It's going to have to be what you can grow, what you can slaughter. Okay? It's like my brother, he's been working on chickens, quails, you know, just trying to get more and more. We got enough material right now that we actually sat down, we can actually fence up a nice little spot and we can have a massive poultry farm. Now with poultry, that's food. You're going to have to pull security. And that's why we have a prepping community that we work together and stay in communication with, that we can. So anyway, guys, it is possible. It's nothing to be fearful about, but you do need to be prepared, because if this was to go down, you need supplies. All right, guys. Speak to y'all later.